He is also ranked 8th in Canada among all mortgage brokers.
So, today I'm going to go through what I call the 6 abuses of time that prevent most Canadians from ever reaching true freedom. Number 1, fuck the future. We constantly say to ourselves, if I can just get this done and just get that done, then I'll finally do that thing I've always wanted to do. The problem with this is that if you're always thinking about the future, the present will never come. You know, I was having this conversation with my uncle a few weeks ago. We were talking about my aunt who wanted to buy a new car. He's like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with her existing car. It's got like 5 years to go. You know what my reply was? Who gives a shit? She's 71 years old. She wants the car. She has the money. She deserves the car. If not now, when? What is the appropriate age for you to buy the car you want and deserve? We're starting, yes. But I will not be talking about money. I won't be talking about real estate or mortgages. I won't be talking about personal branding, taxation, or how to raise capital. Instead, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be talking about something much more important than all those things combined. And that is time. 24 hours a day is what we get. That was funny, huh? It's what you guys get, it's what I get, it's what everyone gets. Everyone gets the same amount of time. So I'm here to ask you guys an important question today. If we all get the same amount of time, each and every day, why are some of us, Dustin, simply more successful than others? Financial freedom is not about money. It is about time. If it was in fact about money, then there wouldn't be so many high income earners that are shackled by their own schedules, trapped financially, buried with anxiety. Like many of you, I started with absolutely nothing. But today, I own 5 businesses, make close to $200,000 per month. I travel virtually half the year, yet work less than 4 hours per day. How am I able to do this shit? Well, despite massive amounts of hard work, I have learned to master my relationship with time. That's exactly what I'm going to show you guys how to do today. So I was expecting an applause. True freedom comes when you change your relationship with time. You need to respect time. You need to understand that time and life itself, for that matter, are finite. If you spend your time doing mindless tasks and fail to use it to pursue passion and fulfillment, time will destroy you. It will run out quickly. And in the end, you'll have nothing to show for it but regret. So, today I'm going to go through what I call the 6 abuses of time that prevent most Canadians from ever reaching true freedom. Number 1, fuck the future. We constantly say to ourselves, if I can just get this done and just get that done, then I'll finally do that thing I've always wanted to do. The problem with this is that if you're always thinking about the future, the present will never come. You know, I was having this conversation with my uncle a few weeks ago. We were talking about my aunt who wanted to buy a new car. He's like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with her existing car. It's got like 5 years to go. You know what my reply was? Who gives a shit? She's 71 years old. She wants the car. She has the money. She deserves the car. If not now, when? What is the appropriate age for you to buy the car you want and deserve? 80? 100? Perhaps a week before death? He had no response. If you want something, and I mean truly want something, what is the point of waiting? Why would you choose to spend your finite time doing things you don't want instead of things you actually want. You guys, this is crazy. Take my traveling, for example. I started 17 years ago when I was broke, right out of university. I've never stopped. Even as my financial goals grew, my traveling never skipped a beat. My financial goals took a back seat to travel, because travel is what I want and love. Travel is actually who I am. I would never dream of sacrificing this for anything. I would never dream of delaying my passion for any reason whatsoever. You know, people always love to say, I'll travel when I retire. But this is nonsense, you won't. If you want to travel, or want to do anything for that matter, what are you actually waiting for? Do you even know? Stop lying to yourself and start doing what you want in the present. Unlike the future, guys, the present is the only thing we're guaranteed to experience. How's that for an opener? So on your tables, well, most of you guys have one-page forms with 6 action steps. As I mentioned earlier, we're reviewing the 6 abuses of time, each with the corresponding action steps. So for this one, I want you to write down 3 things that you've always told yourself you're going to do in the future. And beside that, I want you to write the 3 things down that the reasons or the excuses why you haven't quite done them yet. I'm going to give you guys a minute to do this, and we're going to move on. Time, abuse. Number 2, procrastination can wait. Guys, why do we procrastinate so much? Who wants to take a stab at it? Yes, sir.
It's just not that important to you.
I like that. Someone said fear. Those are good answers. When we procrastinate, we by default live in the future. Our minds are incredible at creating utopic fantasies of what our realities will be like at some point in time. The problem, guys, is that life doesn't work that way. By definition, things can never be better than utopic. If we do this or do that now, we tell ourselves, we risk being disappointed that things didn't work out the way we had hoped. So we delay. Procrastination, thus, is simply our reluctance to endure hardship or failure. Another example is someone who wants to get into shape. They talk to their friends about going to the gym together. They're shopping for new clothes online. Envisioning stepping on the scale, feeling good, eating healthy, and so on. But in order to win the chance that they might not be able to handle the workouts or stick to the diet, they delay. These individuals choose to live in the imagination of their own mind instead of facing reality. But the good news is that procrastination has a simple cure. You just need to jump in and deal with things as they unfold. For this action step, you're going to write down 3 things that you've been procrastinating for a while. Unlike the first example, these guys, this could be like smaller tasks. Cleaning up the garage, cutting the grass, something. And then beside it, you're going to write down the reason you actually think you haven't been able to do them yet. So it's self-recognition. You guys have a minute to do this? Thanks for coming. He's in the back of the door. Time of use number 3. You guys can do this on your own too. The anxiety of task fulfillment. Who in this room has a to-do list on their phones? Everybody has a to-do list on their phone. Who didn't raise their hand to realize? We have become a society of task doers. Virtually robotic. They don't have anything. If we can just complete these tasks and just become a bit more efficient, then we'll reward ourselves a little something called enjoyment. This is fucked up. Enjoyment of life should not be a reward for doing mindless tasks and errands you don't care about in the slightest. Even the most efficient person in the world cannot escape the wrath of the never-ending to-do list replenishing itself. If you become more efficient, guess what happens? Magically, you simply have more time to fill with more tasks. Freedom comes when you learn to let go. It
comes when you understand that these tasks will never be complete. And once you understand this at your core, the anxiety of having too much to do simply disappears. And the feeling of being overwhelmed fades away and allows you to finally start enjoying time in the present. So for this one, we're going to create a to-do list. I do this repeatedly. On your phones, because I know everybody has a to-do list on their phone anyways. Boring tasks, you're going to create a to-do list. Boring tasks. We still have things to do in life. Pay bills and grocery shop and stuff. You're going to start doing 3 boring tasks per day. You're also going to be satisfied that you're going to only do 3. Don't be overwhelmed that there's still something left to do. There will always be something left to do. 3 boring tasks, you're going to also allocate the time in your calendar when you're going to do them. The second list is called fun tasks. We're going to start treating fun like a task, like an obligation. If you guys get to do this. You guys can also do this at home. I encourage you to. How are we doing for time? Anybody? What? Oh, I'm just rolling for it. Good. The curse of capitalism. So Canada is clearly a capitalistic society, we all know that. Compared to communism, dictatorships, I will admit it's the better choice. But Canada does have many flaws. Our current Prime Minister being the biggest one. Right? Like I said earlier, if you're liberal, get it. That actually wanted to do it. We are rewarded for economic status. There's a certain prestige that comes to those with more financial power and security over others. And regardless of where you land on this social ladder, as you're saying, you are part of this system and thus must play the game to an extent. Capitalism, while it does allow for growth and advancement, also creates kind of a one-way street mentality. And what I mean by that is that economic advancement, whether you recognize it or not, do form part of the foundation of the majority of decisions we make. Let me give you an example. Suppose you're a hard-working entrepreneur, you've had good financial success, but you're burnt out. Sound familiar? You decide to take a break, possibly to a yoga retreat, cottage, road trip to Italy tomorrow. Or possibly stay at home and just turn off your phone. You decide to unwind. But what is the underlying reason to do so? You see, most people take time off to recharge their batteries or come back stronger than ever. The problem is that even our leisure time leads back to economic growth. Our leisure time, our personal time, should not be money related. We should do things simply for the joy of doing them, not so that we become bigger financial machines. Now myself, living proof. I fell victim to this years ago. I was busting my ass to get ahead. While I had some success financially, it came at massive costs. Constantly burnt out, never slept, sad, lonely, depressed, irritated, addicted to caffeine and alcohol. It was a fucking disaster. Still am now. Different categories. But once I changed my relationship with joy, once I made joy a mandatory part of my life, things changed for me. And it's hard to stand here today and explain the profound effect it's had. I know if you guys go through this exercise, it's going to change in the same way. So for this one, for this action step, you're going to write down 3 things that you're going to do in the next week. Promise yourself. You're going to do them simply for the pure enjoyment of doing it with absolutely zero ties indirectly or directly to money or business. You guys answer this.
Time of use number 5, distraction. There are countless books and seminars out there to help you become a multitasker. All designed to help you become more efficient and financially secure. As I mentioned earlier, guys, more efficiency normally just leads to more tasks. And more money will not make you free if you do not know how to use it. Being a multitasker is actually a paradox of time. It's counterproductive to the very thing you're trying to accomplish. If you do more than one thing at the same time, you don't accomplish more. In fact, you end up doing less than if you had just done everything individually. And why is that? Because we're distracted. Think about it. You grab your laptop, or you send out an email, phone rings, you answer that, you get a text message, a Facebook message, a cat video on YouTube, another phone call, another text message, it's on TV, it's on kids streaming. Sound familiar? This is not the path to freedom. This is distraction masked as efficiency. We have become so distracted by endless and useless noise because it's easy. It's a lot easier to watch endless videos on YouTube than it is to do something productive. It is much easier and less stressful to text your friends nonstop than to finally do that hobby you've always been telling yourself you want to do. Focus is the key to freedom. Devote your time, your energy, your attention to one thing at one time. Don't let yourself get distracted by the rabbit hole of endless noise. For this action step, guys, you write down 3 things that constantly distract you, and you're going to make a vow to yourself today to get them out of your life immediately. Give you another minute. Good morning, Catherine. Time abuse. That was a quick minute. Number 6. Embrace your mortality. What if I told you today you only had a year to live? What would you do? How would you act? My money's on the fact that you would probably change virtually every part of your existence, right? Well, newsflash, guys, you are going to die. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But one day you will. And once you embrace this blunt reality, you become free. You stop giving a shit about all the things that don't matter. You start doing what you want. You start living the way you want. There are no more hesitations to your actions. You become focused on one thing, and that's life. We are going to die. Accept it. Also embrace the fact that your life, in the grand scheme of things, guys, will have no real impact. Now, perhaps that sounds a bit too harsh. That is the reality of our world. Let go of the notion that you should do everything and that you could do everything. You can't, and you most certainly won't. So for this action step, guys, I want you to write down 3 things that you would do or change if you were given a year to live. And then you're going to do them. The cost of anything is the amount of life you exchange for it. And I encourage everyone here today to change your relationship with time. Because until you do, you will never be free to enjoy it. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you very much for being here today.